What is going on, everybody? I go by the name of Curry, and I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on SneakerPhetish. Well, it's Yeezy Day once again here at SneakerPhetish, and today we're taking a look at the latest 350 version 2 Boost. And this colorway is a really nice one, actually. One of the better ones of 2020, in my opinion. So without further ado, let's get into it. Boom. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 version 2 Israfil. Now, first things first, there's multiple ways that you can say it. Some people say Israfil, some people say Israfil, some people say Ezrafil, but whatever you want to call it is what you decide to call it. Today, we're just going to go with Israfil. I don't know, the Yeezys that have been coming out lately, they've been looking a lot different in the promotional photos and the photos that go on the Adidas app and on Yeezy Supply than the way that they look in person, but they keep looking better and better in person than they look on the internet. So take that for what you will, but just because you think it looks a certain way on the internet certainly doesn't mean that that's how it's going to look when it shows up at the door. Now, this one, a little bit more limited, only available through Yeezy Supply and the Adidas raffle on the Adidas app. I went through Yeezy Supply and I was able to get this pair, which thank goodness, because I never hit on Yeezy Supply, so I don't even know how in the world that happened. But here they are in hand. Let's take a little deeper look. We're not going to take too much time on the shoe. You guys know what it is. It's a Yeezy 350 version 2. We've done a lot of these. Say it with me. All prime knit upper. Got another one of these cards again. I'm seeing some people got the cards, some people didn't. Basically, the card says that every pair is different. No two pairs are exactly alike. Good news for the bootleggers, good news for the knockoff kings. But it is what it is. The prime knit is different on this one, so my pair isn't going to look like your pair. Nice colorway. It's somewhere between a steel gray and a navy blue, or kind of like an indigo blue. It's somewhere in there. It's really hard to pin down what colors these are all the time, because again, you also have colors that are woven throughout the entire sneaker. Let's take a top down look at the shoe once again. Again, it looks kind of gray, it looks a little cream, it looks like it's different colors in there, but somehow it all comes together. Notice this one has the flat stitching going all the way down the top of the shoe as well. It doesn't have the raised stitching. It kind of has that cleaner, kind of more hidden stitching. I like this. I'm gonna show you guys a medial view on this one, because I really don't think that we give prime knit and we give this design and the way that this sneaker is made enough credit. We keep looking at these Yeezys, and at this point, I think we've all just kind of taken them for granted. We get them, we put them on our feet, we walk around with them, we know what to expect. But man, the way that they make this sneaker, it is one of the most intricate designs and ways that they do this prime knit that I have ever seen. It's crazy. One more thing about the top of the shoes here. So as you notice, infinity lacing system that you got here, that kind of lacing where it basically makes the sneaker a slip-on. There's nothing to tie, but good news, if you want laces, you got extra laces. Now, I think it's funny how they come in this little pouch here, but this is how they come. They basically just are regular laces here. They kind of look like that tan taupe color that matches the upper of the prime knit primarily, but that's what it is. So if you want those laces, remember, you're gonna have to pretty much cut the infinity laces to never use them again, and then you can go ahead and slip these laces in their place if you want the traditional lacing system. The semi-translucent strip here on the lateral side of the shoe, interesting color. It looks faded, so it almost looks like a yellowish, but kind of a more dingy yellow. And I don't mean to say dingy like that, like it's an ugly looking color. It's nice. It actually offsets well with the rest of the colors on the shoe. It just looks faded. It looks aged. This color here actually reminds me of the color on the Union Air Jordan 1 that was inside of the lines of all of the stitching there, how it looked really aged and yellow. That color there reminds me of this. Moving around to the back of the shoe, no heel tab on this one. You guys know I prefer the heel tab, but fortunately, no heel tab on the back of this. On the insole of the shoe, you get that same tan color with the Adidas Yeezy co-branding in white on the heel. And last but not least, translucent outsole here. Looks almost like a gum color. The color actually matches the semi-translucent strip on the lateral side of the sneaker. Very, very nice, and you can see that full-length boost underneath. And that's pretty much it when it comes to these. I mean, it's a Yeezy 350 version 2. I mean, it is what it is. We've seen these a million times before. We know what it is. 3-stripe reflective stripes inside of the sneaker. It's another 350. Let's dig a little bit into Israfil and who in the world Israfil actually is. Israfil was what was known as an archangel. Now, Israfil's name was a little bit elusive depending on which religious book you're looking at. It might be the Bible, it might be the Quran. Now, Israfil's name is not necessarily named in the Quran, but Israfil's presence is certainly felt in the Quran and across other religious books as well. Now, Israfil was one of 4 archangels. Now, the rest of the archangels' names: Michael, Jibril, and Azrael. Remember the Yeezy Azrael? Azrael was also one of the archangels as well. Israfil was very known for his music, and most notably known to be the archangel that would sound the trumpet, would actually blow the trumpet to signal the day of judgment. So it's believed that Israfil is basically God's right-hand man, and as soon as God signals Israfil to sound the trumpet will sound and the day of judgment will begin. Israfil's name has been quoted in a few different places as well in context to what is believed that Israfil will do, most notably in an Edgar Allan Poe poem as well. Poem goes, "In heaven a spirit doth dwell, whose heartstrings are a lute. None sing so wildly well as the angel Israfil, and the giddy stars, so legends tell, ceasing their hymns, attend the spell of his voice all mute." Edgar Allan Poe, so you know it sounds a little weird like that. You may not have heard the name before, but Hervey Allen is an author from back in the 1900s, and in 1926 did a biography on Edgar Allan Poe and named the biography Israfil. Long story short, this is yet another entry in the long line of names that Yeezy has dedicated his sneakers to and actually called complete colorways those Hebrew names that date back to the biblical times. Like I mentioned in the video before, sometimes it gets hard to separate the product from the person. We see what Kanye has been doing lately in the presidential election. You guys may have your opinions on that. You can feel free to sound off below, but we're not really here to talk politics. But because he has been put into the presidential election and really has been campaigning, unfortunately, that might mean a swing in one favor or another in the election. Again, I'm not here to take any sides, but you guys can sound off down in the comments what you think about that. Coming back to the sneaker though, as far as the shoe goes, do I think it's a nice shoe? Yes. Do I think it's a clean colorway? Yes, it's actually one of the more wearable colorways and one of the cleaner colorways that, again, I've seen this year so far. Resale on the shoe, not much, which is interesting because the sneaker was still pretty exclusive. But at the same time, it looks like, I don't know if the Yeezy fad is just dying as much as it's just plateauing. And I think that's kind of where we are right now with this model. Now that is really interesting because this model is plateauing, but you have other models like the Jordan 1 that continues to fluctuate depending on what colorway is coming out in the shoe, even if it wasn't a colorway that Michael actually played in. I think that's the one thing that Kanye keeps missing the mark on when it comes to his Yeezys, is that I think he feels like the more colorways he comes out with, the more it'll connect with the people. I think it's already connecting, but I don't see anything really getting up super hyped up with super big numbers and super big resale numbers in a Yeezy 350 version 2 Boost anymore. I mean, I really don't at this point. I mean, there's reflective versions of these shoes that are basically going for the same non-reflective versions of certain colorways of Yeezys at this point. Again, I think that the sneaker has plateaued. Now, when a sneaker plateaus, is it a bad thing? Not necessarily, because again, the sneaker's still selling out. So I think for Adidas, it's important to control their inventory and their allocations on sneakers to make sure that they're selling out of the shoe and that they're not overproducing it, because they're making so many different colorways, it could be easy to overproduce the sneaker. My personal opinion, keep it limited, create more colorways, build more hype around it that way so that everybody can look at different colorways and hey, maybe it's encouraging more trading, more selling, more buying. Yeezys these days are starting to feel like baseball cards. If you guys were around in the 90s, they're starting to feel like Pogs, where you would collect some, you would trade some, you would sell some, and you see that a lot with different colorways. You have people right now that are probably saying, hey, I'll trade you an Israfil for an Azrael or for this or a Citrine or that. So you're seeing that these sneakers are actually starting to become their own currency. Can I say that? A lot of people are buying the sneaker just because it's so comfortable, it's so wearable, and at the same time, the colorways are pretty good. I'm not mad at the colorways these days. So it's interesting to see where this sneaker is gonna go next. But like I said, another day, another Yeezy, another colorway. It is what it is. Now it's time for you guys to sound off down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about the Adidas Yeezy 350 version 2 Boost Israfil. Is this one that you guys put into your collection? Did you guys keep this so that you can trade it for something else later on? Or were these a hard pass? Are you waiting on the next one? Are you waiting on that new version 3 that's coming out soon? Sound off down below. Let me know. Of course, right down in the comments, make sure that you click on that subscribe button so we can welcome you into the Sneaker Fetish family to make sure you don't miss out on any more heat that comes through like these, because I guarantee you, I got a lot more heat on the way. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Fetish, taking a look at these with me, unboxing them with me for a couple of minutes. I go by the name of Kari. This is the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 version 2 Israfil. And until next time, I'm out.